Determine that today you will overcome yourself of the day before. Tomorrow you will win over those of lesser skill, and later you will win over those of greater skill. Miyamoto Musashi. How do you get there, my friends? The same way you get to Carnegie Hall. Practice. Each and every day, all we ask is 10 to 15 minutes, but it's got to be each and every day. Why? Because each and every day, by being in the marketplace, you will find over and over and over again, you learn the nuances of your favorite stocks and ETFs, the things that you track and practice trade. Don't worry about how long it will take, because once you master the markets, you'll make up for all the time you ever spent. Everything is down for today except gold. Gold is up 1.27%. We'll get there in just a minute. We look at the S&P 500. I know several of you were looking at this as we ended the week, pushing up on, and it looks like our trend line is just sitting right there. Not trend line, our horizontal line that we were setting at the prior high here. We can see that the candle itself is pushing right up a little through it even. Look at all of the energy in the volume this week after. And I think it was a long day yesterday, but I may have said the Fed raising the interest rates, or maybe I didn't. I thought about it later and I said, did I say raising? Well, of course, we all know they lowered the interest rates. We've been talking about Japan for a while, where they actually raised their interest rates. And of course, the yen took off, and they have been trying to do what they can to control that since. But as we look at here in the U.S., of course, it took an afternoon or so, and then the markets really took off. We can see that on Thursday as they bumped up. But as they're apt to do, they pulled back a little bit today, 0.48%. And again, how much higher will they go? Well, as high as the powers that be can keep them up, and they can get through the election. I told you guys all the way along, do not be surprised if this market takes off. Now, let's look at where we are on the NASDAQ 100. Now, the ceiling that we have on here is the prior top, like it was on the S&P, but the NASDAQ has made nowhere near that height. But you look at where it is right now at the end of the week with that Fed news, and it is right where it topped off previously on that week ending the 19th of August. Will it go higher? Don't know. We see where we were with the volume last week with this red spinning top. As things, again, it wasn't a green spinning top, and we didn't have average volume the week before or higher. This week we have a green up candle. Might it go higher? That is indeed possible. How many of you think that? Did you pull the trigger? What did you base that on? We didn't have average or above average volume this week. Simply had a green candle popping up to where things had been up before. How risky is getting into this? Well, it is an election year, but the markets again are enthusiastic. If you did make the trade, I'd like you to use your trade worksheet, back that up, follow it closely, set your parameters for your loss limits. Again, use your 2 times ATR. Be careful, be diligent, pay attention, and learn. By the way, NASDAQ 100 down 0.19% as opposed to the S&P down 0.48. Let's look at bonds pulling back again. We have had 1, 2, 3.5 days of down moves in bonds. In fact, it started Tuesday afternoon, really hammered down on Thursday morning, and again down a little bit more today. Still ended the week with a green candle. The prior last week, the prior high, 101.24. This week, 101.64. So it did knock up higher. Now, this red volume simply means that we opened lower than the prior close. You can see that. And, of course, we did hit a bit of a higher high, but you can see this 2-day candle with average volume really paired that off and pushed through the weekly trend line on the 2-day chart. Half day broke through at that big hammer down on Thursday morning and has stayed below. We'll see as we move into the next week what things do. Now, let's take a look at gold. Gold just keeps accelerating, up another 1.27%. Would you think that Bitcoin's doing the same? It's not. It blew off some energy today. However, we're going to look at the 24-hour a day Bitcoin in just a moment. We get past gold, we can see how gold's volume's been building over the last 3 weeks. We had a doji 2 weeks ago. That was the week beginning the 3rd of September. Then last week, we had a green, just a little bit of movement I can see there on the bottom, mostly upward movement with average volume. And then this week, above average volume, moving even higher. Gold is just in a frenzy, continuing to move up. Now, didn't move out through the course of the whole week. We saw on Tuesday where things moved down on into Wednesday, where it really ranged around. Then things really took off on this Thursday, Friday candle, the 4 half-day candles, and of course the 2 two-day candles with gaining volume since that prior Friday, Monday 2-day candle. So again, gold heating up nicely. Wish the charts would tell us that. But again, gold going up, then into a doji, up a little into a doji, up 3 weeks into a doji, and then moving up. And again, don't have volume helping us in seeing any of this, so makes those up moves risky. Now, let's look at where we are with Bitcoin. I'm going to zoom into the weekly chart. You can see that we have not had average volume or above since that big down week we've talked about multiple times beginning the 5th of August. Then we had a green spinning top, a red spinning top, 2 green spinning tops, another down candle, but again, no average or higher than average volume to back any of this up. Then last week, a red spinning top. This week, moving up, but again, you can see where the highs were. They were consistent with the prior highs in the green spinning tops. We haven't out-leveraged this prior strong down candle for that week beginning the 5th of August. Now, if we switch over to the 24-hour-a-day chart, does that give us anything more? Well, as far as volume goes, really doesn't. We see similar candles, not exactly the same, but the volume again is low. This week, we have some movement on the bottom. Nice high wick on the green up candle for the week, pushing through that prior trend line, but no volume to really help us see where that is going. We look at the 2-day, and again, we see average volume with the low, sort of the dead move, and then the green spinning top as things took off. The 2-day, sort of helpful there as far as what Bitcoin has been up to. And, not so bad on the half day where that move took off. But again, the smaller the charts, the more the more risk there is and the less you can expect them to move. We keep hoping that Bitcoin is going to eventually set us up a tone for being able to trade on that weekly chart, but it's not doing that yet, and we still have all this overhang of that strong down move from the 5th of August. So we'll keep an eye on Bitcoin. We'll be ready to pull the trigger in a practice trade when it actually shows us what's really happening and we can follow it. I am releasing for everybody this afternoon the Charting Cryptos, Commodities, and Currencies for this week. Hope you enjoy that. Hope all of you have a great weekend. Keep your powder dry. Can't wait for this next week. I love practice trading. I love bringing all this to you. I thank you all for all of your support. Patreon members, thank you so much for helping pay for the cost of putting this channel on. And again, we just appreciate all of you being with us. Hope that you are loving trading as much as I am. Practice perfect to be perfect. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.